This is Retired Geek Woman, Adventures with Rianne in Stardew Valley 1.5, Retired Slow Play, part number 47. And we're going to take up right where we left off, which is day 14 of fall in year number 2. And we are going to continue on with all the things we've been doing in the fall. We're almost halfway through this fall season, and we've got lots of things that we need and want to do. We've got a bunch of crops that are ready to be harvested, and that makes me so very happy. So based on the poll I did with my subscribers asking if they want me to show these day-to-day routine chores that I do, and the response on the poll was yes, leave it in. So you're going to get to see me do all the things I do in the morning in exactly the same way. And I have a little bit of short-term memory loss. So in my real life, I find that having a routine helps me not forget things so much. And so with Stardew Valley, I'm pretty much the same way. It's like grab my water bucket, grab my milk can or whatever it's called, milk pail, and go see my animals first thing. So I do that every single day. And that's okay with me that I am like that. My doctor tells me it's not necessarily a problem. It is a way to fix a problem, which is that I'm so forgetful. So it's a way to kind of combat that. So we have a deluxe farm, a deluxe coop. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, I encourage you to do so. But that's the largest one that you can have. Each one can hold 12 animals. The coop is full of 12 animals. Eventually we're going to get rid of Vader and probably get another dinosaur. But before then, I want to accumulate a few eggs of the void eggs, which I don't really need them for anything that I can remember, but I would hate like heck to not have one if I did. So today we're going to put in duck eggs in the mayonnaise machines, and I just kind of alternate usually between chicken eggs and duck eggs and dinosaur eggs, depending upon what I have the most of. I've got 1 chicken, 1 duck, and I guess 2 chickens if you count Vader, and the rest are dinosaurs. So probably we're going to have Vader find a new home soon, and we'll probably hatch another dinosaur. Have another ancient fruit. Yay! And checking our apple tree. When it gets to 3 apples, I pull them off and we'll save them. We don't need them for anything in particular right now, but we're going to hang on to them. And I'm putting these ancient fruits in this chest right now. We're going to save them up, and then hopefully we're going to be able to craft an iridium sprinkler, and we'll plant 24 at one time. That's my thought. You saw me grab an egg right there, and the thing is, I'm working on 4 different villagers. I don't know if they call them villagers or citizens. I'm working on them on the relationship level, and one of them likes eggs. So I'm going to take an iridium quality egg to that person today to help work on our relationships. I have a goal of having 10 villagers that have 8 heart relationships with me, and that's before the end of the 2nd year, which I'm going to be way ahead of schedule on that, so I'm very happy about that. There's quite a few things that I want to have accomplished before the end of the 2nd year, and that's because there's an event that happens, and it's important to me to have those things accomplished. I was checking the pumpkins, and they take 13 days to grow, which means they should be ready and harvestable on the 27th, which is the day before the end of the season. So I have enough time to grow the pumpkins. So that's what I was checking to make sure that that was the case. And I don't know how many for sure that I had, but I grabbed 20 seed packets, and we're just going to run across here and plop them in, and they will be ready in time. And hopefully I don't have any fertilizer down, but even if just it takes the full 13 days, they'll be ready in time. And I can't see any reason why they wouldn't. So I'm just filling in any place that I can see, and some places I really can't see. Down by those daggone corns. Ugh. I'm glad I grew the corn, but they are really a pain because I couldn't even see that I had harvested the pumpkins there or whatever was growing there. So I think I've got everything, and I'm kind of looking again and going slow. It's like, okay, is that all? Yeah. So glad I grabbed 20. And so we did 16, so that's fine. We'll put those away for next year. And next year we'll have a much bigger planting area. And so I had looked at the people that I was going to go see, and one of them loves grapes. That's Vincent. Kent loves the eggs. Vincent loves the grapes. So I'm trying, if at all possible, to do loved gifts. It's really kind of hard because a lot of them, a lot of the characters want cooked foods, and I haven't really got into cooking very much. So I don't have access to a lot of the stuff that they want. So I'm trying to do as best I can to work on the relationships with what I have. And oh, hi, Harvey. Good morning, husband. How are you today? He's working on a model airplane. I guess he's taking Sunday off from work, so that's cool. And one of them, the characters we're going to visit, likes pink cake. So that's my 4 items for the 4 people I want to go see today. And kind of move my highlight off of that so I don't end up eating anything by accident. Oh boy, how many times have we new players have done that? What this is a recycle machine, and I'm keeping the stuff to be recycled over there. I put in a piece of driftwood, and for that I got wood. And we got another oak resin. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're collecting as many of those as we can, and we're using them to make kegs. And we're trying to put as many in our keg shed as we can before winter hits, because these trees that we are collecting resin from are going to go dormant on the first of the winter season, or the whatever they call it. I guess it's winter. They go dormant, so we're not going to get any more until the following spring. So I want to get as many made as I possibly can. So we're going to stop in here and see Marnie, say hi to her real quick, and we're going to give her her gift. And she likes pink cake, and she says it's an incredible gift. So let's check that out and where we're at with Marnie. And Marnie has 1 more heart to go. I'm sorry, Marnie is 8 hearts. So we are 8 hearts with Marnie. You don't lose relationship hearts with anybody except your spouse. So once you get them to a level, they stay at that level, which is really very convenient when you're trying to be friends with everybody, and it'd be possible to run around and try to, oh my gosh, can you imagine trying to maintain all those relationships? So we see little Vincent here, poor little Vincent, and he's always so sad. This time he's got a smile on his face, so that's a good thing. We're going to make him even happier. We're giving him a grape, and he loves the grapes. And let's see what our relationships now is with him. And Vincent, we still have another heart to go with Vincent, so that's okay. And we're going to look and see if Kent is anywhere to be found. Sometimes Kent, I can't find him. I don't know where he is. He's either inside here, he's standing by that tree right there by his house. But there are exceptions to that. So, and I was double checking to make sure that was his house, because these 2 houses right here, for some reason, I can never get them straight in my head who lives in which one. So anyway, I went ahead and double checked, and I was at the right house, and we'll have to go find him elsewhere. I'm not sure where he hangs out. So we're going to go, we're going to check the board, and I don't know, Wizard, I don't think we're going to go hang out in the mine. I'm terrified of Abigail because I keep giving her awful gifts. So I saw Kent in here one day, so I thought, well, let's check and see if he's in there. He's not. We're pretty sure we know where Linus is. He's almost always either inside his little tent, standing outside his little tent, or standing along the mountain lake. So he's usually one of those places, and so we can usually find him without having to look him up. If we did need to look him up, all you have to do is go to the wiki, which there is a link to that in my descriptions. And it go to the wiki and you type in Linus, and it gives you his complete schedule of where he is at any given time. So apparently he goes up north sometimes. So I don't know why, but he did. So I found out that he loves coconuts. Well, guess what? Yeah, I made his day special. You're welcome, Linus. I'm so glad to give you a gift that you absolutely love. That makes me happy. Now Linus has 8 hearts. So now we're going to be working on Vincent and Kent are the 2 next ones. And I'll look down and count and make sure that I have the right number of people that I am making the relationships for to reach my goal. If you haven't watched a previous episode, I'm trying to reach 8 heart relationships with at least 10 people before the end of the year. And that doesn't count your spouse, I don't think. So it'll be the first 11 people on my list. And so I'm working on it. I'm almost there. And then we'll just keep working on it. Eventually, I want to be best friends with everybody. And that will happen. I've happened to go in the store and look who's standing here. Well, Kent, hi, buddy. I've been looking for you. Yeah. So he's talking about he really doesn't have things to do. Well, he really likes the gift, so that's awesome. He's talking about he doesn't have anything to do now they left the war and stuff. And you can see that Kent we still have a heart to go with him. We can give him and Vincent one more gift this week until it resets. So we'll make sure that we do that. A grape and a egg, be carrying those around with us so that we can find those guys in the next day or so and give them their gift and then keep working on it. So while I was here, I thought we might want to run down and check to see if our crab pots have gotten lobsters. We're trying to get some lobsters for Gus, and so I thought let's just run down there real quick. And I thought that if they didn't, I'd have to buy bait, and it's like, oh, good. I was so worried that Willie would be closed and I wouldn't be able to buy bait from him. It's like 5 gold for a piece of bait, and while I hate doing that, I don't have my fishing rod, and I didn't want to take, if I did, I wouldn't want to take the bait off there anyway. So I want to say hi to him because Willie's somebody that we don't say hi to enough, and get a couple more pieces so that we can rebait these I thought they're called crab pots, I think they're called. We click once on it to get the item out and click on it again with your bait and it fills them. You'll know that it's been baited because there's little tiny red lines on the front. If they're not baited, those red lines are obviously not there. So anyway, thought we'd come down here and get, I call these the wiggly wormy thingies. They're actually called artifact spots. And you hit the ground and you get all kinds of things. Sometimes they're super valuable and sometimes not so much. But you don't want to pass them up if you can help it. I do try to run over to this far side over here as often as possible to pick up the coral that's here. There's also other forgeable items. Coral, though, will be combined with oak resin when we have a sufficient amount to make the deluxe speed grow, which I love to use. Eventually, I won't plant anything without deluxe speed grow going down first, but it's going to take a while before we get to that level and have that much stuff available to us. But again, it is a process. Think about where we were 46 episodes ago. We walked onto a farm that was covered in rocks, limbs, trees, grass, weeds. It was a mess, and that's what we started with, and I think we had 500 to our name. And so look how far we've come. A long way. And we've spent, I don't know, almost 400,000 gold to get there. But at the same time, we earned the 400,000 gold and then some. So we've come a really long way in not even 2 years. So I think that's a good thing. And for my new viewers that haven't watched my episodes before, I do have a goal and focus in mind on what I plan to do and share with you. This is going to be a 100% completion game, and we don't know at this point, my viewers don't know at this point how we even know that. But you will be able to see how to find that out and how far we get, and my goal is to make this 100%. My only other game that's even remotely close to that is my 11-year game, and that is only about 87%, I think. So I've decided to basically stop playing that one and play this one instead so that I can share this game with you all the way through that completion. And if you wanted to, you can keep playing your game past that 100% completion. There's really no end to it. If you're enjoying it and you don't want to start a new farm, just keep on playing. There's no reason that you have to stop. And I really love that too about this game. I also love it that there has been a way that if you say, well, I want to say I'm done with that game, okay, they've provided, Concerned Ape has provided a way for you to say, I've completed 100% of the game. I've done everything that you can do in this game, which I suppose that's an okay thing. But again, it's one of those games. It's very laid back if you want it to be, or you can power play it and be super efficient, super effective. I'm not that way. I know that there's better ways to do things, but this is how I do it, and I'm sharing that with you. And that's why my playthroughs are called retired slow plays, because I'm not power gaming through this game. Again, I got that oak resin. I thought maybe we should go ahead and make another keg. We got time. It's only 7:40 p.m. So let's go ahead and do that. And for that, we need copper, iron, wood, and the oak resin, of which we have. So we're going to go ahead and make another one. And I will not fill it until the ones that are already in there are done, and the keg on the outside of the building will let us know. That's why I start them all at the same time always, and that way I don't have to go in and out of that shed over and over again to collect things that are off schedule. So that's why my OCDness likes that. And I didn't come up with it on my own. I found it on the forums, which there's a link down in my descriptions to the forums, that you can post your screenshots of your farms, and I saw someone had done that. I thought, wow, what a brilliant idea. So I borrowed that idea, as I have. Most of my farm is designed after other farms that I looked at and said, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that. So I took all of those particular ideas and incorporated them into my farm. Because I put, I think it was paper in the recycle bin, I got these torches. Now eventually we're going to have nice lamps and things, but for now we don't have anything to light up the inside here except the fireplace. So I'm going to dropping these torches around just to give us some light inside until we can do a better job of decorating. To this point, I have not decorated at all on the inside of my farmhouse. Eventually, it will be completely decorated. I love decorating my farmhouse inside. And if you want to see, oh, what do we got here? JoJa Mart. It says closed, and lightning blew the door off. Okay, that's interesting. We may have to investigate that. So, before I talk about my decoration thing, let's check what we got money-wise overnight. So mayonnaise, cheese, and truffle oil, and just a few foraging things that we picked up along the way, $47.18, bringing our total for day 15, fall of year number 2, to $61,853. So awesome. Decorating, yes. When money is super plentiful, you can either purchase individual items to decorate your inside the farmhouse, and thank you, Lewis, for sending us 500 gold from the Stardew Valley Agricultural Fund to help me continue my good work. Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for the money. And another one. The Stardew Valley Fair is happening tomorrow. Bring 9 items for a Grange display, and after 9 a.m. You can buy a catalog. I think we get it from Robin. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's who we buy it from. And it's expensive. It's very expensive. But what it lets you do is it lets you decorate the inside of your farmhouse, and I think your sheds as well, from the catalog directly. So instead of spending money for all those individual things, if you spend a big truckload of money for the catalog, you get unlimited decorations. And I love that. So I think that's probably what I will do before I start spending a bunch of money on the individual decorations. So it's like, okay, what am I doing here? I really need to say, I got to make a mental note. Quit putting the truffles in the oil maker. We want to save some so that Piglet can find a new home. And holy moly, the nice thing about rainy days in when the other seasons, spring, summer, and fall, is it gives you a chance to make really sure that everybody gets petted. Petting your animals raises your relationship with them, and what that does is they give you higher quality products. So look at that. There's an iridium quality egg in my pack right there, and that is because I have whatever, it's a chicken, I think, gave me iridium quality eggs because I have a high relationship with my chicken. So that's the reason to do that, is to give them a pet and raise the relationships. So we've collected all of our artisan goods from them. We're going to pop in here and check everything out. There may be 3 apples. Yep, there's 3 apples, so we'll go ahead and collect the apples off the tree. And right now we're only collecting normal quality apples. Eventually that will go up. But right now it's normal, and we don't really have any use for them that we know of. So we're going to keep putting them in our miscellaneous fruit chest. So that way, you never know. We're all hoarders when it comes to Stardew Valley. So that's just the way it is. Look at all these glorious pumpkins. Look at the pumpkins. Are they not beautiful? The answer is yes, they are beautiful. Oh my gosh, amazing. Pumpkins are my #1 crop for the fall season. And that's because I put them in the preserve jars, which makes pickled pumpkins, and they are so valuable. So that's why I have planted so many. So what I normally do, once I get my farm planting area set up, this is a very small version of what we'll eventually have, is I surround the outside of the planting area with the crops that make multiple harvest. So in this case, cranberries are along the sides, and then I fill the middle with whatever is the most valuable fruit or vegetable that I know of, and for me it's pumpkins. So I know there might be others that have other ones that they like. I like the pumpkins, so that's why I do that. So we've just harvested a ton. Look how many there are there. I can't even count them. 50 or more. And I did check and see it takes 13 days to grow. We've got only 13 days left in the season. So I really would hate to do another crop and not have them be ready in time. Because I thought I read that it's 1 day after whatever the seed packet says. I'm not 100% sure that's true, but I do know I would sure hate to lose 50 or so pumpkin seeds because I didn't have enough days. So I'm going to go ahead and plant other things in my main growing areas, and I've got a lot of other things to grow. I always like to have variety. So once I run out of time to plant my main crop, which usually takes a good long planting time, I start planting other things that I have chosen just so I can have variety. And that's for cooking purposes and for gifting purposes and whatever purposes. Eventually, I won't do so many of them, but for now, I want to grow a little bit of everything. So you can see I'm planting eggplants, and I've got wheat. So I need to go get some more seeds propagated through my seed maker because I don't have enough to fill this up, and I really want to fill this up as much as I can. That's kind of, it makes sense. You got growing season, plant and harvest as much as you possibly can because you can use it in the beginning, especially because I don't have a whole lot of stuff that I could put in my preserve jars and my kegs. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do? What do I have that I could make seeds of? I've got some, is that amethyst? I don't know what it's called. More eggplants. I had 1 artichoke, so I'm going to go ahead and just feed them through the seed maker. It takes 10 real life seconds to take a plant or whatever you put in there, and it'll make a seed. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop those in. Oh, there's amaranth seeds. That's what they were. And again, I don't need them for anything in particular, but I don't want to take a chance on losing my crop of pumpkins. So we're going to go ahead and just stick with what we got for this year and plant other things. And all these things can either be pickled, or all the things that I grow can either be pickled or put through the kegs to make juices and wines and things of that sort. And we're just plopping them through, and you can see it takes 10 seconds each one. Eventually, in this seed room, we will have probably however many we can fit along that wall, maybe 8 or more seed making machines. About the 15th of the month, I start making the seeds, propagating the seeds for the following season. And I like to try to have 600 of my main crop and 200 of my secondary crops. And that's way overkill. I don't need that many, but I like to have that many ready. So I'm sitting here waiting for that seed to pop so I can take it out and go plant it. So in the future years, in the 15th of the month, we'll be working on the seeds for the following season. And that way, when the season comes, I'm not doing what I'm doing right now, which is trying to see if I can come up with the seeds or have to go see Pierre, which I don't like that. I like to be self-sufficient. I like to not have to rely on Pierre for my seeds. And I can see, gosh, I've got a few more open spots. I need a few more seeds of some kind. So again, this won't happen in the future. We'll make sure, because we'll be propagating like crazy. And I went in the wrong shed. Oopsie. Even though I got a sign right there that has a seed on it, you would think that I would see that, but no. It's like, okay, what else do I have in here that I can feed? I don't want to do the cranberries because I've already got tons of those, and they'd make multiple harvests. So this is just the individual plants that I'll be planting, and I grabbed the eggplants. I know I could pickle those, so that's why. And I had plenty of them. That's why I chose them, because I have plenty. And hopefully this will be enough to finish filling up the planting area. Now, having said that, those are going to be ready before the end of the season, so I'll have to do this again, and we'll just keep propagating whatever so that we end up with plenty of the other crops before the end of fall. And this is my way of doing it. It's not like you have to do it this way. I mean, that's my crazy way of doing it. That's my crazy way of thinking, and it's the way I like to do it. So we're going to stick with that. We're just making sure that we are being productive, and making sure that our fields are productive, and that we don't have empty fields sitting there for no reason for long periods of time. And I was looking for the item that I need to take to gift to Vincent, which he likes grapes. So we're going to go give Vincent a grape when we're done. And also need to remember to go grab an egg. I can take that to Kent, who likes eggs, and getting those relationships moving along. That's what we're trying to do. I don't think I've mentioned this episode yet how much I love rain. Oh my gosh, do I love rain. I love rainy days in any game that I play. I love the sound because I love rainy days. And on earlier episodes that were recorded in the spring and summer where I live, if it was raining, I've thrown open my sliding door and you can hear rain and sometimes storms moving through, because I love the sound of it so much. So I love it in games. When I'm recording this, happens to be winter time, so we're not getting rain. We're getting, if anything, if it's precipitation, we're going to get snow. Yuck. But I love rain, and I've looked it up, and supposedly it's a real thing. It's called a pluviophile, and that's a person who loves rain, and it makes them feel peaceful. And that's exactly what it does for me. Rain makes me feel incredibly peaceful. What just happened just now is that because I came back in here, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was here early this morning if you've watched this episode. But because I came back during the day and the mayonnaise was ready, I thought, okay, let's get a double batch of mayonnaise. That's fine. So I just went ahead and refilled it. Now I'm going to head to town to go find Vincent and Kent to give them their gifts for the day. And that will be the last ones we could do for the week, I think, unless it started over. But I can never remember which day of the week starts over. So we'll find out when we check these two. And I know that Vincent is almost always down here in his house or playing with the other kids. Oh, and I ran right into Kent, who I have trouble finding, and he's right there. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, Kent is suffering from PTSD, which if you read the things people say and the other things people say about them, then you'll learn that he's a soldier with PTSD. So there's lots of detail in this game like that, and lots of stories, and most of it's very positive and upbeat. That's one that's kind of negative, but you know, he's working on being who he is. So Vincent, yay, he's so happy. We made Vincent so happy. And we have one more heart to go with him and one more heart to go with Kent before we move on to either someone else or figure out where we're at to make sure we have enough people that we are friends with. And I was looking at my journal. You do want to check that periodically in case you've forgotten things. I wanted to run down here and check my lobster pot. And at the time, I did not notice that it was already after 5:30. I'm very confident that Willie's shack is closed. So if we don't get, he's going. It's like, hi, Willie. I keep forgetting to talk to him. He's one of those people that he's one of the last people that I make close friends with because I forget to talk to him all the time. But back to the story at hand is it's too late for me to go get any more bait for my lobster pots. It's like, oh man, because it's already 6 o'clock and I didn't bring a fishing pole. So it's a complete and total waste of walk down here. Although we did get an anchor, which we already have multiples of. So it's like, all right, we'll go ahead and walk the beach real quick and see if there's any coral over here. Seems to me, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the coral shows up the day after it rains. The little man standing at the top there, what his purpose is, you can go to him on a rainy day. If you have someone that has a sufficient amount of hearts, you can buy that, and when you've also been on a date with them, you can buy a pendant from him and give it to them, and you'll get married to them, and it'll have a cutscene and you'll get married. He's still there because it's possible to divorce your spouse, which I think is horrible. No, I don't want to bring unhappiness like that. It ruins your relationship with them and you can marry somebody else. Now, having said that, for someone that doesn't want to do multiple starts and they want to see the various cutscenes with all of the potential significant others, I guess that's the purpose for that. Not me. I chose my guy and I'm going to stick with him. Having said that, I've had people that are watching this my playthrough and telling me that they're glad that I chose Harvey because they never chose him and didn't get to see the special cutscenes that happen as your relationship goes up. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm glad that I could look at that app. That made me so mad. What do you mean giving me an apple after I waited all that time? So I'm glad that I could provide a different experience for people that play differently than me. I know that that's one reason I watch other playthroughs is people play differently than me. So I don't think I've mentioned in this episode that I'm also doing a playthrough of a new game called Kenseed. And in my research for gaming channels and kind of learning how this all works and watching other gamers, I stumbled across this channel of someone doing a playthrough, and they do live streams of Kenseed. And one very fascinating thing that I've learned is that I seem to be pretty unique in how I play my games. And because I am a senior, I'm a retired senior, and I do what I call a retired slow play. And I'm finding that other people don't really play that way. This other channel that I found, holy moly, I've been kind of blown away at how much they have accomplished in a very short period of time compared to how far I've gotten in that same game, Kenseed. And it's like, man, and I consider it a power playthrough to see someone like that and what they're doing and the things that they choose to do. Again, Kenseed is similar to Stardew Valley in that it's kind of an open world and you can follow a path or create your own path or, be this, be that. It's kind of very, very similar, but it's also very, very different. I enjoy playing these two games side by side because it's very interesting, the differences, and there are similarities. In fact, it's been compared to Kenseed's been compared to Stardew Valley, and probably because it's a farming simulation, if you want to say that, but I think it's so much more than that, as Stardew Valley is so much more than that. You can choose not to have chickens and cows. You can choose not to have crops. There's plenty of ways of making money. You can fish for a living. So there's lots of ways of doing it unless you want to have 100% completion. So I find that to be interesting. Anyway, I did learn that I play differently than a lot of people. And so far, based on subscriptions that I seem to be having, there are people that appreciate what I'm doing. So thank you. And if I haven't said it so far this episode, thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for your comments. my subscribers are so very important to me because you validate that I'm doing something that other people find interesting. And that makes me very happy. Getting those subscribes, getting those likes on my videos, all of those things are very important because aside from making me feel validated, it also makes YouTube like me more and they'll recommend my videos to even more people, which is great. I'm glad that there's more and more people that are listening and watching and commenting, and it's just fabulous. I appreciate it so very much, and I appreciate you for what you are doing. And if you've listened this far to this video, I thank you because not a whole lot of people are. And of course, you know, when I see how people are disconnecting right away, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I guess my answer is I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just I don't have the right people that are watching yet. So that's okay. No problem. By the way, our piggy bank is becoming more and more valuable as a piggy bank. So Mr. Piglet is going to go away soon because he's worth more to me at somebody else's home. And so that's going to happen soon. And I have only sold one other animal. I think I sold a duck. It's not a big deal. You sell them basically, and then you get money and they go find a new home. So I can see I'm so excited that my kegs and my preserve jars are done at the same time. So yay us. I mean, that's going to be good money for us. And you're going to see that taking the produce and the fruits and vegetables that you have and processing them is going to make you so much more money than just throwing the individual things into the shipping bin. You make so much more processing them. I was counting how many kegs I had. I want to do all the same fruit or vegetable. I'm going to use probably cranberries. So I was counting to see how many I needed so that I can make sure I had enough for the current amount of kegs that we have. So fantastic. I'm so very happy that this happened at the same time, and I'm really happy to show you how much money we're going to make from it. So again, this is going to be a huge money maker, and eventually it's going to be an even more huger money maker for us, but we're going to wait and see. You can just hold down your mouse button and run by all those things, and it very quickly fills those kegs. That's what I was doing there. And oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, Stardew Valley Fair has started, so do we want to participate? Hadn't made up my mind yet at this point. Still thinking about it. So right now, we are going to fill up all of those preserve jars and one outside, and look at all that. Oh yeah, I cannot wait till we can find out how much money we made from that. And double checking our crops and say, okay, we've got some corn ready. Again, I had a terrible placing of those corn right there, but that's okay. We will figure this all out. And everything's looking pretty good. Other than that, got our corn we can pop in there. So we got to decide if we're going to go to the Stardew Valley Fair. And basically there's a Grange display where you can put down your highest quality items that you have. You have to have 9 items, and then you get points based on what they are and how much they're worth individually. And if you win, then you get something. So I was thinking about that, and I couldn't remember for sure what you get. And I thought, well, maybe we should give it a try and try to pick the highest quality items that I have. And again, I need 9, and there has to be variety. You can't do all fruits and vegetables that you grew. You've got to find forageables, artisan products, you have to have a variety, and I can't remember what, of each category, what you had to have. So I was like, okay, there's 3 things that I grew myself that are gold star. I'm not sure that if the ancient fruit counts as something separate or not, but that's what I'm doing, is collecting. I've got 4, I need 5 more. And once I get them all together, then we're going to go to the fair and put those in there and see what it is that we can get. We did do this last year, so if you don't want to watch this, go back and find that. I'm trying to start putting titles in my I'm trying to put in the titles of the videos, highlights of what is in that video. So I don't know if I went back that far, but that's what I'm trying to do, so you can see if it's something you'd be interested in. It's easier to search. So if someone was searching for Stardew Valley Fair, they may come across it. We are preparing to go to that fair, and as you can see, I picked the most absolute highest quality and variety that I could find. And I had to count it out because I know you need 9 items, and I know that this wine is like the lowest quality. I think it's salmonberry wine. It's worth about 90, but it's the variety that you need, and you get points. And on the wiki, if you want to be sure that you're going to win absolute positively, go to the wiki. It gives you all the points for everything. And I know that I know that I'll have much higher. If I did this again in the future years, I'll have iridium quality items, which gives you higher points. So I do not remember what the lowest point value is that you can get so that you can still win. I have no idea. Look, there's Pierre and there's Marnie and Willie. Those are the other contestants. So you basically click on the empty spot there, put your items in. It doesn't matter what order you put them in, and you're just laying out your display. And as you can see, I've got things that I grew, things I foraged, animal products. So hopefully that will do it. We'll see. So what happens is, yes, it's the most important festival of the year, the Stardew Valley Fair. And at this fair, there's all kinds of games that you can play. And I've played them before. Some of them are like, yeah, for me. There's a fishing game that you can play. There's all kinds of games that you can play. And the purpose of the games, aside from having fun, you see the little fishing thing on the left corner there. There's a bullseye, which I don't really know that. I don't remember what that one is. But when you play these games, you can win these points that you can use to go up to where that merchant was and buy things. There are a few set items that you can purchase, and then each year they switch it around. I mean, some things are standard. They have them every year. Other things kind of are random. So I wasn't sure what they had this time, and I thought, well, give it a try. So let's see what happens. It's been judged. Time to check with the mayor. And I have 91 points, and I apparently won, and I get 1,000 star tokens. So the star tokens, and he said, don't forget to take your stuff. Now, I know with my memory, if I didn't grab this stuff immediately, I would have totally forgotten. So I ran over and grabbed it. It's nice of him to remind me, because I believe if you walk away, those things disappear. Well, look at all that stuff. I mean, even a gold star quality star fruit. I mean, not a star fruit, a ancient fruit. Okay, so I like to go to this guy right here. If I'm just going for points that I want to be able to purchase stuff with, I come to this guy. So you've got you're betting on green and orange, basically, and you can bet however much you want, and it spins around. So I bet on green. I bet 500, and I won 500. So I'm 500 up. So that is fantastic. So I have to admit that I read, in reading things about the game over the years, which it's been quite a while. I'm pretty sure I've played since year number 1. One of the things I read is that the best way to win money, or win the tokens, if you're just going for tokens, is you come to this wheel, you bet half of the tokens that you have, and you bet on green. And disclaimer, plug your ears if you don't want to hear this, green wins 75% of the time. Orange only 25%. Now you see what I just did? I took 1,000 star tokens and turned it into 33.75. And this is where you can purchase stuff. So I'm pretty positive I already have that rare crow. I think I do, and I really should have checked. But, I didn't. You can get the fedora hat, and I should have got that. I mean, I was thinking, I'm just kind of going through this really quickly. Look at that hay. It's like some interesting things. I know I wanted a rug for decoration, and maybe some dried flowers. And I still had plenty left over, and I should have bought everything there. But I honestly wasn't thinking. And this thing over here, I don't remember if you get anything for it. Look at this, strength level. I'm a gym teacher. I think that's insulting to gym teachers because the ones I've seen have been pretty tough. A gorilla? How am I a gorilla this time? It's like, and doesn't seem to be any things you can win. It's like, and I couldn't even talk to them. So, I mean, I didn't even go to all of these different stands and tents each time the first time around, and I didn't this time around. And so if you want, you should probably go to them yourself and experience it yourself and talk to everyone yourself and enjoy this in particular event. You should enjoy all of them. The first year of your game, you should go to every event and see what it's like, because it's something different than your everyday thing that you're doing. Waiting for the clown to start doing something funny. Oh my gosh. So, you need to experience it yourself. So that's my suggestion to you. And I wanted to do it again just because I couldn't remember. And then I should have bought the other stuff just because and I wasn't thinking. So again, it was free stuff. And I'm sorry. I won the thing. I won the 1,000 off the bat, which is great. So that gave me, you can buy tokens or you can win them like I did. So that's how you get your tokens. That's how I get them up to that level. And am able to buy whatever I should have bought in the first place. But I bought a few things, and that's great. I got a rug and some decorations for our poor little house that hasn't had any decorations. When you leave the fair, it's going to be 10 p.m. and you'll be on your front porch. That is always that way for all of these events that take place during the day. There's the Moonlight Jelly one that you end up at, I believe, I think it's midnight at your house. So the rest of them, though, you end up 10 p.m. So it gives me time to do a couple things, put my stuff away. Eventually what I end up doing is once I get a super high level of things, and if I want to keep going to that thing, I put those 9 items in a chest, and then I can take them every year and win every year for sure. This was a shocker that I won. I was like, really? I won? Truly? Because I didn't know I would win. So anyway, and that's the points. And if you're one of those people that want to keep track of your points, you would keep tracking each time. You would know how much you've got, so or how much you won that particular year. So anyway, that is going to pretty much, once I get all this stuff away, that's going to end the 16th day of fall in year number 2. And it is also going to end this episode number 47. So I want to take a moment to thank all of my subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You are helping me feel like I'm doing something that is valuable to other people besides my own self, which it obviously is. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate if you would do that for me. It helps YouTube like me better, and they recommend me more to other people when they see that I've got my subscriber count is going up. Plus, it lets me know that I'm doing something that you all find valuable. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.